Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tinesha Davis, and in this video, we're going to answer a question. Because Girlish has questions and I have answers, okay? So let's talk about it. And I want to thank you, Girlish, for asking these questions because honestly, sometimes I need something to talk about in these videos. So thank you for giving me something to talk about. So let's clear some things up because it seems as if she's confused, I know there's other people out there who are confused. So let's just try to unconfuse y'all. Maybe, hopefully, perhaps, kinda. All right, so here we go. Her first question. All right, let me just read the whole thing. The whole thing says this. She left two questions on two different videos because I didn't get around to answering the questions soon and quick enough. All right, so she says, do you plan to have a job in the future or are you done? You mentioned the retired word. I am confused. You also mentioned Roth. On your income, you are not eligible. I guess all your travel plans stress me out a bit. Due to the no job status and you never mentioning the retirement bridge funds being in place to carry you to 59.5 years old. Can you please talk about your future plans, work, finances? And then no need for all the grooming. You look fantastic. Is that your hair? Because I love it. The nails thing is actually more elegant with shorter, simple nails. Not sure about the lashes. Have you tried the growth serum? Nice lashes are gorgeous, no question. Okay, that was the first one. And then let me see. The second one, because I didn't get around to answering it. She says, I do not understand your early retirement math. Can you please explain how much you need monthly to stay afloat and where that income will come from in early retirement until you can take from retirement plans? Okay, let's talk about it a little bit. We're not going to dive too deep, actually, because there's a lot of things. So let's just go by this one by one. She says, I confuse her. You mentioned the retired word. Okay, let's put that right there. Retirement is just a word. It is. It's a word. I explained this in some of the comments. The thing about it is this. Think about this. In under a year, I have been laid off, let go from jobs, released from employment 3 times. 3 times. And we all know that the job market out there is just not as robust and abundant as it has been in the future. So the bottom line is there's just nothing else for me to do but sit here without a job. Without a job. So yeah, I may call it retired because it feels cute to me. It's cute. Early retirement. Yep, it's cute. But think about this. It's not that hard to understand because we all know people who don't work or haven't worked or, just don't have traditional 9-to-5s. Whether they're freelancers, whether they're gig workers, whether they're self-employed, whether they just have people who take care of them or the government who takes care of them. So it's not unheard of not to have a job, right? Not to be employed. So I feel that anytime you don't have a traditional job, essentially you're retired. You're retired from 9-to-5 work. I'm retired. But I have been trying to figure out what do I want to call this period in my life because yeah, I'm not necessarily retired in a traditional sense of the word. So we can say, and I may go back to a job again. We don't know what the future holds, right? So we can look at this time as being an extended sabbatical. Does that feel better? Does that feel better? So the second part is that you mentioned Roth. You are absolutely right. I call it Roth. And you're absolutely right. I make too much money to put into a Roth. So what I do is my money first goes to a traditional IRA and then it's converted to a Roth. Okay. A lot of people know this as a backdoor Roth plan. I think it's called backdoor. Yeah, backdoor Roth. Hold on. Let me make sure I got that term right. Backdoor. Yeah, backdoor Roth. Yeah. So that's what it is. So it just has a little more steps than going to a Roth straight from my bank account. Okay. And the Roth is what we're going to do after taxes. My 401k plan is money that is invested before taxes. And then my after tax money, I go and put into a traditional IRA account, which is then a few months later converted into the Roth. And it's kind of been going in this cyclical for a little while now. So it's kind of automated. So I set it and forget it. And so that's what happens there. Okay. Let me see. What else? All your travel plans stress me. Child, you ain't heard nothing yet. Because the travel keeps traveling. You haven't even heard about the travel plans. For real. If whatever little bit I said up here stresses you, if you knew the real of all of the travel we're doing and getting ready to do, you would be so stressed. But because I am really about this travel lifestyle, I'm not stressed. And I think that's all that matters. As long as I'm not stressed, we're good. And travel is my peace. It's my peace. It's where I feel I'm my best self. So actually me sitting in this house day in and day out, that's what's stressful for me. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to get into the travel plans just yet, what I'm doing. That will be in the future as we get ready to do it, or after we've done it, or I don't know at what point. But that stuff will come out in the future. And if you are concerned, I will be using money that I've saved up to pay for travel. That's what I saved my money for. I saved my money for a time like this, but saving my money for a time like this for me doesn't mean just taking care of my bare basics. No, for me, it means that now that my time is freed up, I get to live out my dreams. I get to live out some dreams. Okay, reasonable. It's going to be within my budget, so meaning that I will be able to afford it. No, I'm not going to blow through all of my savings. I'm not. But I will be using a portion of my savings, probably this good old house money. Y'all know, for those of you who don't know, I've been on a journey to pay off this house. Before I was laid off the first time, I don't know if you want to call it the first or second time. Let's just say 3 times, right? So my second layoff is when I decided I wasn't going to pay this house off this December. Okay, because things were looking iffy. But I was still sending large chunks of money to the mortgage. When I got laid off this 3rd time, that's when I was like, you know what? I'm not sending the large chunks to the mortgage. I'm just going to keep it in my bank account. And so yeah, so the house money, if I owe less than $80,000 on this home, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to travel with the house money. And I'm more than okay with that. More than okay with that. So yeah, I feel like the no job status, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting because essentially it's like we've been groomed. We've been groomed that we're supposed to give our best years to somebody, something. Not saying that's a bad thing, because I do believe you should be able, every man should work and take care of themselves. I do. But if you have put yourself in a position to retire early, I feel like we should be able to take advantage of that. Matter of fact, I feel like we should actually make that more, we should normalize that more than we do. Right now, it seems normal for people to think, work until you're 70 and then take rest. 70 and then take rest. That feels strange to me. Even the fact that I'm 50, I'm 50. That's a grandma. That's grandma age, right? So even with that, I can't take rest now. I'm not allowed to take rest now. I'm giving myself permission to take rest. And it is taking some adjusting to, some mental adjusting. Because again, I have been groomed to work at somebody's something. Everybody's not meant or built to be entrepreneurs. And that's okay too. So that's why I say somebody's something, because even if that somebody is you, we've been groomed that unless we're doing that, we're not adding value to this planet. I want my joy, my ease, my grace to be the value that I get to add to this planet. The example that we can manifest the life that we want, the life of our dreams. So let's see. So you never mentioned bridge funds being in place to carry you to 59 and a half, right? And I say we're not going to get into all of this right now because I feel like it goes a little more deep than I'm prepared to go in this video. But this is what we know. So we have retirement funds, and we do know that your 401k, yep, you're not supposed to touch it. You're not. Otherwise, there's a 10% penalty. But guess what? Let me let you in on a little secret. I've touched my 401k before. I've taken that penalty, and I survived. It was fine. I say that, but that is a last case scenario, worst case scenario. I don't plan on touching my 401k, right? Then we also know with your IRA, you can take out the taxed portion, the money that was already taxed. You can't touch that part. It's when you start messing with the gains that you'll pay your penalties, but there is a way to actually pull that part if necessary. We have the HSA, the health savings account, which I can use toward medical expenses. But again, those are all, I don't plan on touching any of those things. I do plan on letting those things ride until I have to take them out in traditional retirement age, okay? As far as a bridge account is concerned, I do have a brokerage account. I don't even plan on messing with the brokerage account though, real talk. But I do have a brokerage account that I can pull out. It's not a retirement account. It's money that's already been taxed. Of course, you're always going to be taxed on any money that you make in the good old United States of America. But I do have a brokerage account if I had to play with that money, live with that money. But I don't plan on having to. I have a high yield savings account. The high yield savings account, that is my bridge account. That is my account that I have in place, because even if I was retired, right? Even if I was retired and could pull from a retirement account, we all know, or some of us know, that it's never a good idea to pull money from the market if the market is doing bad. So you have to have some other money to live off of. That's the money in my high yield savings account. Okay. Is that money in that high yield savings account enough to last till 60? No. But I'm almost 60. I'm 50. I said I have 5 years in that account, right? But I don't plan on having to exhaust that account or have to use that account to get me over till I'm 60, because I have other ways of making income. The other ways, this good channel here, this good house here, and whatever else may pop up and avail itself to me. Okay, so there are other ways that I can bring in money in the meantime. I also have a partner, Jay, who is a working and very capable man, and he can pay all of this stuff himself, honestly. I'm sure he would. If it came down to that, right? But I think one of the things though is I am not overthinking or overplanning this? Because I feel like that's one of the things that keeps me stuck in going back to doing what I've always done. I want to do something different. I want to do something different. And what I know for sure is, as long as I'm able to take care of myself in these basic ways, you know, the mortgage, the utility bills, that sort of thing, as long as I'm able to do that, I have some room to play with the other things I've been dreaming of. I want to live in my dream. Do I have to come up here and spell out my dream to everybody? Of course I don't. So I won't. I'm not going to. Because this dream is mine. It belongs to me. But a lot of you, I'm sure you know bits and pieces of that dream. But I want to give myself this time. I'm giving myself the permission to do those things, okay? And we're not going to dive too deep because I am a coward. I'm a coward. And I say I'm a coward because I've said this before and I'll say it again. If a job offered itself to me, I would take it. And to me, that is being a coward. That's being a coward. Because I feel like if I was going to be brave, the brave me would be like, I don't care what you offer me. I'm not going back. I'm going to go walk and live in my dream. That's what brave me would say. But I'm not there yet. And that's okay. I'm not there yet. That's why I was like, if I could get some help, the help would be I wouldn't be offered a job. And I would have to be forced to walk this walk. So yeah, so I'm not speaking in concrete definites. The concrete definite of I'm done, I'm retired, I'm early retired, I'm gonna go and live my dreams. You offer me a job because, again, I make good money. But what I also know is this. The good money I make is not the great money that I probably could make. The good money I make comes with a cap. There's a ceiling. There's a ceiling. That ceiling is about $250,000 a year. I don't see a way that I can make more than that doing what I do without taking on more responsibilities and stuff like that. I don't want the responsibilities. I don't, because I love the freedom. So the freedom that I have says $250,000 a year is the good money that I can make with my job. But I feel like there's more out there for me. Not to say that I need more, like I gotta make, more than 250. But what I'm saying is the more that's out there for me, it may not even come with a concrete dollar amount, but what it comes with is fresh air. What it comes with is being able to be out there in the sun, moving my body, eating fresh food, laughing, moving, breathing, living. That is priceless. That is priceless. $250,000 can't give me that. It can give me that in the spurts of times that you guys have seen with the vacations I go on. But how will it feel? How would it feel if that was my life, my reality, day in and day out? How would that feel? I want to find out. I want to find out. And maybe, just maybe, it can give me more than $250,000 on top of that. Maybe. But what I know is I'm not in it for that. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it for the freedom. I'm in it for the health and wellness of it all. The mental wellness of it all. So as far as my future plans with work and finances, so that's how that is. And as far as finances go, I feel like I've done so many videos on this channel where I talked about my financial independence, retire early movement. I talked about where I stood with Coast Fire. And co-spire is basically the fact that if you don't add another dime to your retirement accounts, will it fund your retirement? So I've reached that. So if I, just like the house, if I don't put another dime on this house, check out the house video. I've done a house update video on the mortgage. If I don't put another dime on the house, this house will be paid off in 4 years. I mean, another dime outside of my regular mortgage payment, like nothing extra. If I don't put another dime into a 401k account, into an IRA account, the money that's already there will continue to work, will continue to accumulate interest, compound interest, and that money still grows enough to fund my retirement. So I've already reached that. And in some cases, I've already reached financial independence, retire early, if I wanted to live a lifestyle of $40,000 a year, which is very doable because we take out the equation of having to pay overhead on a home, because that'll be paid off, right? There are so many options. If I chose to sell this house, imagine that. Sell this home. Let's say after taxes and fees and stuff are paid, let's say I take a good $600,000, $700,000 and just put that in the market. There's always that option. So there's plenty of options, but we don't have to cross those bridges. And we're not going to cross those bridges because it's okay. Because the bridge that we're on, we can afford. The bridge that we're on, we're comfortable with. Right? As far as the grooming and stuff, thank you for the compliments. And is that your hair? Yeah, this is my hair. This is my hair. Y'all see? How's it looking back there? This is my hair. But we braid it up and we're going to get it braided back up because that's why this is my hair. We be keeping this thing in braids. Plus, braids are just so easy for my vacation lifestyle. Because this hair puffs up. This hair does not do humidity. And a lot of the places I go, you got rain, you got elements, you got humidity, you got lakes and oceans and seas and water, and I want to be able to be a part of all of that and not have to worry about hair. So that's why we keep it in braids for the majority of the time. Yeah, I feel like there was a video where I talked about how much I need monthly to stay afloat, that sort of thing. I have videos on that. I can probably remake another video. I'm just not interested in that anymore. I'm not interested because what I know is this. Whatever I need to stay afloat, it's not telling the full story because it doesn't speak to money that gets to come into my life, income that gets to come in, right? So I'm not living a stay afloat life. And I'm not living a life that I'm just waiting till retirement. You know, as far as when I can tap into the 401k plans and the Roth IRAs and the traditional IRAs and the HSAs and I'm not waiting until I can take part of those things. I don't know. I just feel so good about what I have, and I feel so good about what I don't have. I'm at peace with it all. And it's all okay. It's all good. It is all good. And I don't have the neat words to explain it. It's more a feeling than a neat, concise sentence that I'm going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I got laid off again. The government took my good government job again. And I'm at peace with that. I'm okay with that. Again, I thank you for this question. And don't forget to thumbs up, guys, subscribe, and talk to me in the comments if any of this made sense. So until the next video, y'all, peace.